family above all. It's become the center point of the tribal chief Roman Reigns' belief system. But it's more than just a slogan on a t-shirt. Family is ultimately what the bloodline is all about. And family as a concept is not exactly foreign to the world of sports entertainment. From the Hart family to the Von Erichs to the Ortons to the Rhodes, wrestling is full of family dynasties. But The Rock said flat out that his family is wrestling's one royal family. So how can The Rock say that? Well, the Samoan dynasty starts with the Anais and the Mayas, when the grandfather of Roman Reigns took a blood oath with the High Chief Peter Maivia, making them brothers and bringing their families together as one. The High Chief Peter Maivia began wrestling in the 1960s, finding success in the South Pacific and Hawaii. By the 1970s, Maivia would become a tag team champion in the United States with various partners, including WWE legend Pat Patterson. And by the end of that decade, Peter Maivia was in the WWE, challenging champion superstar Billy Graham, and then forming an alliance and eventually a rivalry with legendary WWE champion Bob Backlund. The connections would run deep, as Maivia would help train the Soul Man Rocky Johnson, a superstar that would challenge both Harley Race and Terry Funk for their NWA World titles. Rocky Johnson would also find his way to the WWE, where he became one half of the WWE's first black tag team champions alongside Tony Atlas. All the while, by the way, Johnson would become a member of the Maivia family by marrying the High Chief's daughter, Ata. Ata and Rocky Johnson would give birth to a boy named Dwayne. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But before we get there, Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas won the WWE Tag Team Championship from a team called the Wild Samoans, Afa and Sika. Afa and Sika were the sons of Roman Reigns' grandfather, and therefore nephews of High Chief Peter Maivia. You cannot talk about the WWE's tag team division in the 1970s and the 1980s without talking about Afa and Sika, three-time WWE Tag Team Champions and absolute icons of the division. In addition to wrestling, Afa would go on to train superstars in the making, not the least of which were his sons, who included Manu, an original member of the Legacy faction in WWE, alongside Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, as well as his other son, Samu. Samu would form a tag team with his cousin, Fatu, who we'll get to momentarily, called the Head Shrinkers. Managed by Samu's father, Afa, the Head Shrinkers would carry on the lineage of the Wild Samoans by becoming a staple of the WWE's tag team division in the early to mid-90s and becoming tag team champions themselves. Afa's brother and Wild Samoans tag team partner, Sika, would have two sons enter a WWE ring himself. First was Rosie, who became a fixture in the WWE with his cousin Jamal, who we'll discuss, as part of 3 Minute Warning, and later as the memorable superhero in training with the Hurricane. Sika's other son, the head of the table, the tribal chief, the superstar whose home is the island of relevancy, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns would have a WWE Championship title reign so long it could only be rivaled by superstars of generations far before his. He would main event WrestleMania after WrestleMania, beating every superstar who stepped in front of him and going on a seemingly unstoppable run. Roman would create the Bloodline, alongside wise man and longtime associate of the Samoan family, Paul Heyman, and Roman's cousins, Jimmy and Jey Uso and Solo Sikoa, creating a level of greatness for his entire family, the likes of which even they had never seen. The Anoa'i lineage would also give us the cousin of Rosie and Roman, the mighty Yokozuna, who in the early 1990s walked into the WWE and in under 5 months found himself as the winner of the 1993 Royal Rumble. which led to him defeating Bret the Hitman Hart for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 9. Yokozuna became an icon of his era, becoming a major attraction by moving in a way no one thought possible for a man of his stature. As if this wasn't enough, the sister of Afa and Sika married into the Fatu family, expanding their dynasty even further when she gave birth to 3 WWE legends. The first was the Tonga Kid, who after being trained by Afa of the Wild Samoans would enter the WWE and become a heroic rival to villains like the Hot Rod, Rowdy Roddy Piper, as well as form the Islanders, a tag team with unforgettable tough guy Haku. The Tonga Kid's brother was the Samoan bulldozer, Umaga. After first teaming with Rosie as Jamal, Umaga was a staple of the late 2000s in the WWE and destroyed nearly everyone he came in contact with via his indiscriminatingly vicious spike. Umaga took John Cena to the limit. Umaga was one of the headliners of WrestleMania 23 in his match with Bobby Lashley. He went toe-to-toe with everyone, from CM Punk to Triple H. Finally, the brother of Umaga and the Tonga Kid was Samu's partner in the Head Shrinkers, Fatu, who we would get to know better as Rikishi. As a beloved figure in the Attitude Era, Rikishi stink-faced his way into the hearts of millions, becoming a tag team champion as a member of Too Cool. Rikishi shocked the world when he became a villain, taking credit for hitting Stone Cold Steve Austin with a car, which he infamously said he had done for his cousin. He did it for The Rock. As much as he accomplished in the ring, Rikishi did even more to expand the Samoan family tree, as he would bring into the world his twin sons, Jimmy and Jey Uso. In the grand tradition of the Samoan dynasty, the Usos went beyond being decorated and became maybe the greatest WWE tag team of all time. Starting from scratch, the Usos would evolve into a team the likes of which no one could keep up with, having multiple reigns as champions, most notably combining the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championships and becoming the only team to hold the title of Undisputed Tag Team Champions for 622 days as members of Roman Reigns' Bloodline. The Usos are so good, they've done what very few have. Both of them became top-tier singles superstars after the breakup of their tag team. Rikishi wasn't done. He would also bring his son, the brother of the Usos, Solo Sikoa, into the world, who in an incredibly short period of time changed the entire landscape of the WWE, ensuring Roman Reigns' time as WWE champion was safe and stacking up victories against major WWE superstars, including John Cena. Jimmy Uso, by the way, would marry Naomi, one of the most decorated female WWE superstars of the modern era, bringing a former SmackDown Women's Champion and Women's Tag Team Champion into the Samoan family tree. But beyond all of these accolades, only one WWE superstar would be able to, after debuting at Madison Square Garden, become WWE champion only 2 years later. In main event, WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin 3 times. Main event, WrestleMania with John Cena twice. Main event, WrestleMania with Hulk Hogan. Host Saturday Night Live as an active member of the WWE roster and become the biggest movie star in all of Hollywood. This is, of course, the aforementioned grandson of the High Chief Peter Maivia, son of Rocky Johnson, and father of Ava Raine, who is changing the face of what it looks like to be an NXT GM. This is The Rock. As we shift the lens to the present day, we look at Roman Reigns and The Rock, the grandsons of the two men who made a blood oath, joining their families together, and realized that those grandsons are the two biggest names in the entire sports entertainment industry, both doing things that no one thought possible, both redefining what is possible in their respective generations, and both acknowledging the incomparable family tree that surrounds them. So while yes, wrestling has many, many important families, if you're speaking in terms of stars, championships, dollars, main events, or just sheer impact, it's near impossible to argue with The Rock when he says that the Anais Mayas Samoan dynasty is wrestling's one royal family.